with Elaine, with Elaine's Custom Cards, with a new video for you today. I'm going to show you how I made these two cards with the new it's called Country Floral Dynamic Texture Impressions Embossing Folder, and it is free with a $50 purchase starting February 15th. And it is beautiful. That's what it looks like. So I'm going to show you how I did this with this. I embossed the folder. This is on thick Whisper White. And so the first thing we're going to do is color this. I want to let you know while I'm coloring about the celebration. I've been telling you in every video, this is the host code for February. But if you sign up as a demonstrator during the month of, or during celebration between now and March 31st, for $99 you get $175 worth of product. And if you sign up, I'm giving away a set of these rectangle stitched framelits dies. I'm having a drawing for every person that signs up as a demonstrator under me. Your name goes in the drawing 3 times. If you don't want to sign up as a demonstrator and you just want to be a customer, for every $50 that you put in or that you order from me on my website, I'll put your name in 1 time for each $50. And I'm doing the drawing on March 7th. So that is that. Let's get started on this. I used Daffodil Delight, Flirty Flamingo, and Balmy Blue inks to ink these. This one I did first, and I used a bigger thing to emboss these, and I didn't really like the way it looked, or not emboss, but color them, and I didn't have as much control. So I took and decided to use the Sponge Daubers, and I got better control of where I wanted the ink to be. So first thing I did was I used the Daffodil Delight, and I kind of just went around where it looked like there were some leaves and kind of in between flowers. Just kind of wherever you want a little bit of yellow. You still don't get, you know, super good control, but it doesn't really matter because it doesn't matter. It's kind of free form. I kind of went over the leaves because I'm going to use the Balmy Blue, and once I go over the leaves again with blue, then the leaves will be green, because yellow and blue, as most people know, makes green. And then I made this larger than I wanted it to be, because I'm going to trim it, because we're going to use the trimmed off piece on the inside of the card. So that looks like pretty much enough yellow. A little bit there. And this looks like it might be some leaves. That looks like a leaf. And that looks pretty good. So there's the yellow, the Daffodil Delight. And then I took the Balmy Blue and went over some of these little flowers, the tiny ones that kind of looks like clover to me. And then I went over the leaves again. And if you see, like, after you've done your flowers, and that there should be, it looks like leaves, like right there's leaves, and they're not green like you want them, and just go over them again with the yellow. That's just kind of how I did it. I tried to do my best to avoid the bigger flowers because I wanted them to be pink, the Flirty Flamingo. We actually have snow here today, so this was a good day to do a video because I don't want to get out in the snow. I'm not real into being out in the snow. See how that turns the leaves green? Okay. Now if you want to go back and you see, oh, I want a little more green, or I see some leaves that maybe need to be green, or I see where I kind of missed some yellow. Like that should be green. And you just go over it until you get the look that you want. Like I said, it's not really an exact, it doesn't have to be perfect because it's kind of freeform. And once you get those colors on, then you come in with your Flirty Flamingo and color the larger images. And then that's when it really pops. And you'll see that, you know, if you got a little bit of blue, well, it doesn't matter. The idea is just to get a variety of color in there. And you can use whatever colors you want. I just really liked these colors together. And if you go over like some of the blue with this pink, you'll end up with lavender. Looks like I need to do some green right there. We'll just make it like that. You could use green also, but I figured this would change the color and it didn't really matter. There you go. That's all there is to it. More or less. You can use more color or less color. And then I wanted this to be a specific size, so I brought my Stampin' trimmer in. And I wanted this to be, tell you, needs to be, well, let's measure it just to make sure. I want that piece to be 5, looks like, by, 3 3/4. Yeah. So this piece needs to be 5 by 3 3/4. And you can pick which edge you want to cut off. What you're going to do with that piece that you cut off on this edge, because you want to cut this one off first, this edge. Make sure you get 3 3/4 or you make it, it'll be too small. Because we're going to use that little piece on the inside of the card. So push down hard because this has been embossed. So there, this piece we're going to use on the inside. And then we need to cut the other side so that it's 5 inches. So you've got to cut a little bit off the other end, not very much. This needs to be 5 and 3/8. I think this needs to be this big. And you can use your scissors probably to trim that rather than ripping it, because it doesn't seem to want to. That way you get a smoother cut there. Okay. So that's your inside piece, and it should fit perfectly on there. Okay. So once you do that, then you take your Daffodil Delight piece and you're going to adhere these two together. And I use liquid glue because there's a lot of dents in here, or the debossed side. I wanted to make sure it's stuck really well. So I used liquid glue in there. Of course, I get it all over me. Okay. So glue that to the center of that piece, just like that. Now, okay, this version is going to be a little bit different than the other two cards. I like things, they don't always have to be the same. You can change it up. And if you look at it and you say, oh, this needs a little more blue right there, maybe a little bit there. There. Okay. Then I use this ribbon from Celebration. This was the free ribbon. Right now it's on back order. If they don't get any more in, an alternative ribbon would be this ribbon that's in the annual catalog. I added it to my list so that you would know what it is in case it's something you want to do. And then I took Snail and I put this ribbon, I wanted it, let's see, about 1 1/8 up. So I put it back here so I could get the snail in the right place. You could use blue ribbon, you can use whatever color ribbon you want. I just decided to use yellow. Okay. So then I wanted to make sure I got this in the right spot. I guess you don't have to be this precise, but that's just me, I guess. I wanted it to be right across here when I turn it over, so it's not crooked. Which looks crooked to me. Yeah, once you get that on there, that looks pretty straight. Then we're going to make this card's going to open up, and we're just going to glue that, and you can use your snail because it don't matter on the back. It doesn't matter on the back of here. Just make sure you get enough that it's going to stay. And you want the ribbon on the lower half of the card. Open that up. So you're going to center this here, just like that. Okay, almost done. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take, and what I did was on the, I used the, I'll show you which stamp sets I'm using. I'm using Beauty Abounds, and we're using these two butterflies, and then we're die cutting them out with these two dies right here. Okay, then we're using needle and thread, needle and thread, and I'm using this sentiment right here, and I'm using the dies. Oh, right here. This one does not cut out. What it's doing is it's just making the stitching around there like that. I stamped this with Blueberry Bushel. So this is all we're using from this, and then this sentiment. Okay. And then we're using this sentiment from Beautiful Day. I stamped that on the inside. Okay. Now, we're going to use the, this is the punch. It's called Pretty Label Punch. I knew that. So then we just take it, line up our stitched area, just like that, and punch it out. And then I took the Daffodil Delight ink, my little sponge dauber, and I just inked around it because I didn't want it just white. So I put ink around the edges. This would look beautiful in any color combination that you would use. This is such a nice embossing folder. And then I took the Stampin' Dimensionals, put one on each end, one at the top, and one down here. And then I put those on the front. And I put them to the left. Put this label right here. Just like that. Okay. Then I took and I made a bow with my ribbon. And I've got a glue dot on the back here that came from the paper pumpkin. Because I am using them up. I'm going to take the little thing off of there. And then I wanted the ribbon close to the label, just like this. So I put the ribbon there. Okay. And then I stamped and cut out my two butterflies. And these came from the Beauty Abounds. These two butterflies right here. And then I die cut them out with the dies. Okay. Now, since there's already dimensionals on here, I decided to just put one dimensional on. I think I need to use a small one. We'll use the minis on here. I wanted one up here on that. wing, and I think I used 2. And the other one I'm going to put right here on that wing. And then, oops, I took a dab of glue and put right there, because that's going to stick to the label. And I put it right there, just like that. And then I have this one, and I think I'm going to just put it up with one mini dimensional. Because I thought it needed another one. And we'll just put this one about right there. Okay. And then I took this strip, put glue on the back, just like that, and centered it on this Daffodil Delight piece. Open the card. Put glue on the back of this. Glue everywhere. And I put it just on the bottom of the card, just like that. Just kind of dress the card inside of the card up a little bit. Of course, I'm getting glue everywhere again. That's okay, it wipes off. Okay, there's that. The only thing I have left to do is put some rhinestones, and I just picked a few flowers. Looks like I picked these 2 blue ones right here, and then the center of this pink one, and that's your card. Oops, put you back over there. So there's our card for today. You have a lovely day, and remember the host code, and that's it. Have a wonderful day.